Hello and welcome to Fast Horses Today for Friday, 11/22. That's the start of the race week over at Del Mar. Got a couple horses that I like, going to make some win bets on them, as well as a late pick 5 ticket. So the pick 5 starts in the fourth race. Fourth race have an approximate post time, about 4 o'clock here Central Time, so that's 2 o'clock there in the Pacific Time Zone. And the fourth race is a 5 furlong grass race. This is for starter allowance horses, as well as there's a claiming condition on there. I'm glad they put the claiming condition on there because it created a bigger field with 3 of the horses in for the claim, so they were able to draw into this race and making it a better betting opportunity. So I've got a horse that I like here in this race. I'm going to make a single to start the pick 5, as well as make a win bet on this horse. That's the 8 horse, Will Be. Will Be comes out of the Phil D'Amato barn. Kyle Frey takes the call. Now this horse really, was projected to be a nice horse. Ended up starting his career very nicely, winning second time out with a big speed figure on the dirt over at Del Mar. That was back in August of 23. And, the horse had been running in some allowance races after that. But, apparently something just did go amiss because he's been very lightly raced, only having 2 starts this year, once in February and then once at the end of the Del Mar meeting in September. And that's the first start this horse got over on the grass as well, because this horse had been running typically on the dirt. So got over the 5 furlong grass course last time in an allowance race. Ended up breaking out, running kind of an even race, and then just kind of dropped back. And, this horse, I feel like they're just getting realistic with this horse. They're putting this horse in for a claim, trying to win a race. It's kind of a lightly talented field, so this horse should be a big factor. I think Kyle Frey, is definitely a hustling jockey, can get a horse out, get good position, and take this race here. So that's the 8 horse Will Be. So I'll be starting to pick 5 and also making a win bet on Will Be. All right, now let's go over to the next race of the day. Next race being the 5th race of the day. Fifth race is it's a 6 furlong race, maiden $40,000 claimer. I've got 2 horses in here as well as a win bet. I'm going to go with the 2 horse who is Matina for Mark Glatt. Ricardo Gonzalez takes the call. Now this horse, in the breeding for this horse, it looks to me like this is a dirt bred horse. They've run this horse twice on the grass. That was earlier this year on the Santa Anita flat grass course, running 2 sprints. Now, I'm not sure. Maybe it was the kind of thing where when this horse was ready, she was ready and it was turf races that were available. So, sometimes that does happen there in Southern California where trainers don't really get to run them where they want to run them. So Matina showed speed both times in her races. And I feel like in this race, which, she's dropping in for 40. She had run for 50 last time back in that last spring. So not a panic drop here. They're just putting her where she probably belongs. I could see this Gonzalez getting this horse out and just going. And, these kind of things do happen at Del Mar on the sprint races, and everyone's just chasing. So I'm going to make a win bet on Matina. For pick 5 purposes, I'm also going to put the 6 horse who is running super. That's for Vladimir Serene. He puts the apprentice Carmona on the horse. Now, this horse has been running in maiden special, had started a career in a maiden special weight and ended up getting claimed the first time they brought this horse into a claim race. Horse got claimed for 50 by Vladimir Serene. He claimed this horse off of Ron Ellis. So had run this horse in 2 claiming races subsequently. Valdivia had been riding this horse and, just wasn't getting it done. Was a favorite last time over at Santa Anita in a dirt sprint, which kind of, I think, was a tough spot to be in coming off a turf route going into a dirt sprint. So the horses kind of ran an even race, I thought. So I think that could set this horse up for a nice race, here today. So that's the 6 horse running super. Let's go to the next race of the day. Next race being the 6th race. This is a maiden special weight. These are for California fillies, 2-year-olds. These are babies. They're running 5 furlongs on the grass. I feel like it's kind of an open race. I've got 4 horses here that I'm going to put in. I'm going to throw out the program favorite. Don't like the favorite in this race, but I got 4 horses here. I think that should get the job done to advance to pick 5. I'm going to put the 1 Scroll Up. Scroll Up is a long shot here at 12-1. Some connections that don't get a lot of chances. Martin Valenzuela is a trainer. He puts Tiago Pereira on the horse. Pereira's been riding pretty well and winning races at Del Mar, so that's a good connection there. I like the 1 hole here for a turf sprint, as well as the horse being by Sir Prancelot. We see a lot of Sir Prancelots do very well in these turf sprint races and, these cowbird races. So it certainly makes this horse dangerous. I'm going to put the 4 horse, who is Miso Fancy, for Leonard Powell. Diego Herrera takes the call. This horse has shown some good works on the Santa Anita synthetic. Now, for me, the jury's kind of still out on those synthetic workouts, translating. So it just seems to me like maybe this horse, can get a good start here and, run a good race. There's some siblings in the family that have done well and won early, in the cow ranks. The mom of these horses, Sandy Cheeks, she's produced a couple winners. So Me So Fancy could, go right in line with those. So that's the horse of 7-2, could be a factor here. I'm also going to put the 5 horse was Maga Kai. Maga Kai for Antonio Garcia. This horse also been working on the synthetic training track over at Santa Anita. Ricardo Gonzalez takes the call. 5-1. This horse looks like, maybe she has some speed as well. So, as we've seen, Gonzalez has done this where he can really get a horse out and maybe get this horse out and go and, wire this field. I'm also going to put the 8 horse, who is Freya. Freya for Dan Blacker. And Ayuso takes the call, 9-2. Now, Freya has the benefit of running one time. She ran over at Santa Anita on the 6 furlong flat grass, so she ran a sprint. I thought that she ran with a really tough winner. The winner, You Decide, was just kind of a runoff that day and ran exceptionally well. Beaten You Decide that day. But I thought Freya got out of the gate pretty nicely. Just kind of ran an even race, but I like the way she finished up. So I feel like this horse probably needed the start and could run much better here second start out. So that would be the 8 Freya. So we've got the 1, 4, 5, and 8. All right, let's move over to the next race of the day. Next race being the 7th race. This is a 6 furlong dirt race. These are for Calbred allowance horses, or optional claiming for 20,000. So it makes it for an interesting race. I've got 3 horses here I'm going to put in. I'm going to put the 2, who is the program favorite, Wish They All Could Be, for Ron Ellis. And Fresu takes the call. Now this team, they've teamed up for 2 straight wins with her. She's been able to run in this condition because they're putting her in for the 20,000 claim. And, she's just been winning at this condition. She's done it several times already. So, I don't want to throw her out because she's certainly proven she runs well on the dirt. She runs well at Del Mar. She's run well in this condition. So if she's on her game, Wish They All Can Be will be tough. And she's 9-5. So I'll put her in here. I'm going to also put the 3 horse, who is Nene Diamond. Nene Diamond for Mike Pipey. Juan Hernandez takes the call. Now this horse is a lightly raced horse. She's run 3 times over the course of a couple years. So, she's probably had some little bit of issues. She first time out was in February of 2023. She broke her maiden in outstanding fashion on the dirt at Santa Anita. So whenever a horse gets out and runs first time out breaking their maiden, you got to pay attention. That means that the horse has a lot of talent. It's not easy to do that. She followed that up, off a long layoff coming to Del Mar this past summer, running in a 5 furlong grass race and just missing on the wire, getting beaten in the nose. So, certainly a great race, coming off the bench there. Then they followed this up with a 6 furlong grass race over at Santa Anita, and she ended up getting the job done. So she qualifies for this race because she hasn't won at the allowance level on the dirt. So she certainly could run on the dirt. She's shown that. 6-1, Juan Hernandez. Pipey, his horse has been running pretty well, it seems. So the Nene Diamond's dangerous. Can also put the 6 horse in. 6 horse being Andiamo Ragazza, and that's for Peter Miller and Umberto Rispoli. Now this horse, she's been knocking around in Calbred races. They tried her in some stakes races. Tried her on different, surfaces, running on the dirt and the turf. So it looks like they're just looking for a spot here. Now, 6-1, I feel like this horse is dangerous here. As I mentioned, if Wish They All Can Be is not herself, in this race, then this leaves it open, and certainly you could see 6-1 Peter Miller and Umberto Rispoli coming through here. So that's the 2, 3, and the 6. Let's move over to the next race of the day. Next race being the last race of the day, being the 8th race. There's a mile on the grass for condition claimers. Now, these are $20,000 claimers, non-winner of 3 lifetimes. So, these are horses that are just kind of trying to figure out, not the most consistent bunch. That's why they're running here. So I've got 4 horses I want to put in. I feel like one of these 4 should cap off this pick 5. I'm going to go with the 2 horse, who is Spagliato for Phil D'Amato, Umberto Rispoli. This horse has been running at this level and running, nice races, had last 2 races had won by a neck and lost by a neck. So the horse definitely runs there right on the wire. 5-2. Definitely not going to throw him out. Can also put the 4 horse, who is Legitify, for Peter Miller and Tyler Bays. Now this horse was a big purchase price at one time. So this is your Boulevard of Broken Dreams horse. Certainly didn't live up to the billing of being a $275,000 purchase, because now they're running him for $30,000. The breeding says turf. by Justify out of a Galileo mare. The horse had run on turf and, just didn't really do much there. And they ended up sending this horse into sprints, so the horse really sharpened the speed. And, I think, as we see sometimes in these level claiming races on the turf, a horse can get out in the lead and just, kind of take him the distance. So that's what I'm guessing here with Legitify with Tyler Bays. Tyler Bays needs to get off the schneid. He hasn't won yet this meet, hasn't ridden poorly, but just hasn't gotten in the winner's circle, has some seconds and thirds. So maybe it's just, get the horse out, Tyler, run him as far as you can go, 8-1 on Legitify. And I also put the 5 horse was Mega Moon. Mega Moon for Peter Miller, Ms. Miller's other horse. This horse also has been running in this level, just kind of running even races. Frey Sue takes the call. Horse has won on the Del Mar turf. We're just putting this horse in. If the horse gets a good trip, as we've seen on this grass over at Del Mar, you get a good trip with a good rider like Frey Sue, they come storming home. So, we're going to put the 5 horse Mega Moon, and then finally going to put the 9 horse. 9 horse being Lone Scout for Bob Hess, Edwin Maldonado. This horse also been running at this level the last several times and just kind of running even races as well. And it's just a matter of, we'll see if, Maldonado gets this horse in a good spot and is able to finish up, at 10-1 would be a nice horse to cap off a pick 5 with. All right, now let's just cap off the day and let's cap off the tickets. All right, so let's get the recap here. In the 4th race, which is the start of the late pick 5, I've got 8 with 2-6 with 1-4-5-8 with 2-3-6 with 2-4-5-9. Now that ticket is $48, and I've got the win bets. In the 4th race, I'm betting the 8, and the 5th race, I'm betting the 2. So as always, if you see fit, play the ticket as is. If you want to add or subtract, play the pick 3s, play the pick 4 with it. Do what works out for you to make it a good day. So whatever you decide to do, I wish you the best of luck. Let's get some good trips, because good trips always result in good luck and good results. Let's wish the folks over at Del Mar a safe day of racing. So as always, I ask you to do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. Doesn't cost you anything, just puts you on the feed. When new content's created, it gets served up to you. Like or dislike, that would be great. Make some comments. I promise I will respond to any and all comments. Let's create a discussion. It's never a bad thing. So as always, I thank you so much for watching Fast Horses today. I wish you the best day for Friday, 11/22, and let's make it a great day over at Del Mar, where the turf meets the surf, and we'll be back with racing for Saturday.